Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum guys. Today I will just explain to the practical number 51. Only the last 10 programs are left behind from practical program number 251 to 62. So I'm just going to explain program 51. Write a program to find the factorial of a number. So here I've just started a main body part, and from line number 6 I'm just going to declare C is the variable which will give the increment to the variable, and is the value that how your factorial will increase. It depends on the value of C. And we will use printf and scanf on line number 8 and 9 just to initialize the variable n, and with the use of printf and scanf. Then on line number 11, for increment, a condition is specified that first value is equal to 1, and it will find the factorial for all the numbers until the given number. Like C is equal to 1, and it will keep finding the factorial until the value of C becomes less than or is equal to 9n. Let's say if you enter 9 like on your book, 10 means you want to find the factorial of first 10 number, then the value of n will be 10, and value of C will start from 1. 1 plus 1 2, the factorial of 2 will be calculated, then 2 plus 1 3, and so on. It will keep on repeating until the value of C is equal to or less than the value 10. Then how the factorial will be calculated? Factorial is equal to factorial into C. First factorial is 1, okay, and first value is C. 1 into 1 1, then factorial becomes 1. Now the second number is 2, and the factorial was 1. 2 into 1 2, now the factorial becomes 2. The third number is C. Third number of C is 3. 3 will multiply by 2, the third factorial will be 6, and then 6 will be multiplied with the next number. 6 into 4 24, 24 into 5 120, and so on. How all numbers factorial will be calculated. So just I'm going to show you this one, like say 10. Sorry, I mistakenly written 0, so I just write 1 0 10. Okay, you can see the factorial is 36 28 800, and so on. All the numbers will be multiplied, the factorials will be multiplied to each other, and at the end the result is given. Now I'm just going to press enter key and to move to the next practical. Let's move to the next practical. I've just saved all the practicals. Practical number open, practical number 52. Okay, what is the practical number 52? Write a program to find GCD, greatest common factor of two numbers. Assalamualaikum guys, here I'm going to explain the practical number 52. Write a program to find the GCD, greatest common divisor of two digits, two numbers. Greatest common divisor, like we don't know that which value will divide the both value, which is the greatest value which is dividing the both the values. For this we have defined a, b, x and y, and t which will find the value, and GCD will be the greatest common divisor. The value of x and y are initialized with the use of printf and scanf from line number 8 to 12. Then a is equal to x, b is equal to y. We are denoting a as the value of x and b as the value of y. Okay, the loop will be repeated when b is not equal to 0. If any one of number is 0, then we cannot find the greatest common divisor. Okay, then t is equal to b, and how the b will calculated, that a percentage b, the value of a will be divided by b, and its remainder modulus will be calculated. Then a is equal to t. If this condition is true, then it will evaluate the next. Okay, then GCD is equal to a. Okay, if value of b is not is equal to 0, then greatest common divisor will be a. And then I've used the printf statement just to represent the GCD. I'm just going to run the program, and you can see I've entered two numbers according to your book. One number 9 and second number is 24. Now you can see which is the greatest common divisor of both the numbers. This is 2. That the table of two a table of 3 which is dividing 9 and 24. Other than 2 is also 2 divides 24 but not a 9. Then 4 divides 24 but not a 9. So 3 is the greatest common divisor which divides the both numbers. Yes guys, move to the practical number 53. Write a program to get the number of kilometers from the user and convert it into miles, meters and feet. So first of all, I'm just going to tell you its measurement. So here I'm just going to conversion, like if there is 1 kilometer, then how many miles? First of all, we have to collect the miles. Mile, we can see 0.621371 miles is equal to 1 kilometer. And then if I convert it 1 kilometer into meters, then how many meters are there in the 1 kilometer? 1000 meter. And then in feet, how many feet are there in 1 kilometer? 3280. Now you can see in your practical that it is given in the form of variable initialization on line number 7. Line number 7, kilometer to mile is equal to 1.609. I've just displayed the conversion that 1 kilometer is equal to 1.61 something, same measurement of miles. Then meters, meter to meters, meter to feet. Kilometer to meter is equal to 1000 meters, and meter to feet is thus 328 something, and it is given in the form of fraction. Then variable kilometer, meter is equal to 0, feet and miles are initialized. Here the value of kilometer will be initialized at line number 10 and 11 with the help of printf and scanf. Enter the value in kilometers. Scanf is used to initialize the value of kilometer. Okay, then printf is used to specify that how many values are presented in the data of kilometer. Then a condition loop is used if kilometers are greater than or is equal to kilometer to mile. Like what are the km are those kilometers which are entered by the user, and km to mile are those kilometer to miles that are given on the line number 7, which are defined by the user, declared by the user, initialized by the user at line number 7. Okay, let's say if user enter 40, that is greater than the measurement, so then the loop will be started, loop will be incremented, and mile plus then km. How km will be find? Km is equal to the km minus the km means the given value by the user minus km to mile. It the value 1.60934 will be subtracted from the given values of kilometer. Now the condition is test is if the kilometer are less than kilometer to mile. Like if user enter any number which is less than the kilometer to mile, then here this condition will be break. The next condition will be testified of feet. What is the formula of feet? Feet is equal to kilometer into 1000 into meter to feet. Mean let's say user entered 24 or 40 kilometer, it will be multiplied by 1000. Why it is multiplied by 1000? Because 1 kilometer there are 1000 meters, and then again will be multiplied. Okay guys, just let's move to the practical program number 54. Write a program to print parameter of stars. Parameter of stars means the layout of stars, that how the stars are printed on the screen, order of star to be displayed on the screen. So for this purpose, the variable which are initialized are row, c, n and temp. N is the number of rows. Row is also presented in the value row, specific row, and c is used to increment or decrement the number of stars, like how many times line number 1 the stars will be printed, and line number 2 and so on 3, 4, 5 and onward. And then on line number 10 I have just written temp is equal to n. Then for loop is used. Row is incremented and decremented. Okay, row is equal to first row 1, and how many times the rows will be repeated until the value of n. Row is less than or is equal to n. Like if user enter 10, then rows there will be 10 rows. This row variable is used to display the number of rows on the screen. And then you have used another for loop for c is equal to 1. Here the c here this loop is used to increment and decrement the stars. Like on line number 1, how many stars will be printed, and on line number 2, 3, if user entered 10, then how many times the stars will be printed on each line. So C is equal to 1, and C is less than or less than 10 means less than number. Like stars are printed until if there is one row, if it's one row, then one star. Then if two row, how many stars? If C plus plus na, then 2 will be incremented. On first row 1, on second row if 2 are incremented, then 3 stars will be printed. If on third row 2 more, 5 stars will be printed, and or next row 9 stars will be printed, and so on. Okay, and then printf temp minus minus if you want to decrement, and then for C loop again is used just to specify more clearly that what we have to print. We have to print the star. C is equal to 1, and C is less than or is equal to 2 into row minus 1, means row minus 1, each row will be decremented and it will be multiplied by 2, and if the value of C becomes or equal to that value, then it is printed, and then the stars will be printed. So let's just move to its execution so that the program will be more clear to you. Like enter the number of rows, that how many rows you want to get your star display on the screen. Like if I'm writing 7, like you can see. Again I'm just going to put 7 on line number 1, then 3, then 5, then 7, and then next line 9, and then 11 star. Because there were 6 rows, so I'm just changing the value of row. If I write 20 rows, like you can see, like this is a pyramid, and in each line 2 stars. Okay, let's just move to the practical program number 55. Write a program to print diamond pattern of stars. So this is just like the previous program in which the pyramid of stars are displayed on the screen. Same N, C, and K. N is the number of rows, how many rows there will be in the pattern of stars, and diamond pattern of the stars. C is used to increment or decrement the value of rows, and K is used to represent the number of stars on each row. Space is equal to 1. Okay, then printf and scanf is used to initialize the variable rows, which is represented by n, and space is equal to n minus 1, mean on each time n minus 1 space is left behind. Like on 1, then after 3 spaces on first star is printed, and then on the next line after 2 spaces next star is printed, and on third line after the 1 space, and so on. This will be the pattern. Okay, now for loop K is equal to 1, K is less than or is equal to 9, and n and K plus plus. Like number of rows, user have entered the 7 lines, then this will count the variable row, that how many times the output will be displayed. And then for loop again is used. C is equal to 1, C is less than or is equal to space C plus plus, just to give the spaces, that how many times the pattern of diamond will be. Like if you print a diamond, then how many times spaces of the right side and left side are printed. Space minus minus means that at each time, like on 1, if star is on first line, if 1 star is printed, and then on second line 3 stars are printed, then how many spaces will be left to the left screen. Like if you see your output, I'm just quoting here the output, like 1, 3, 7, 9, and then again the loop is same repeated as the in increasing order. So space is equal to 1. On line number 21, you can see that I have just written the K value. K is less than or is equal to n minus 1, and then K plus plus, that after line number 4 to 5 the star pattern is incremented. The same order will be printed in the increasing order. So you can see both loop for C and K are repeated for both times, 2 times, and then printf, and then for loop is printed. For loop is printed with the C variable first for spaces, and then to get the output of number of stars. And then again from line number 21 to line number 28, the for loop with k variable is used just to first tell the number of spaces and then to number of stars, and then get in return statement. I'm just going to execute this program. Okay, how many times number of rows? Enter the number of rows, 4 or 4, like you can see. Like you can see. Okay, the next program, practical number 56, write a function int square to calculate the square of an integer. Okay, this program is related to the unit number 5, which is about the function. As I have told in my earlier practical videos, that function is defined before the start of main part of the function, and after that the main started. Like from line number 4 to line number 9, the function square is defined. That how square will be defined: int is the type of the data type of the function, square is the function, and int x are the arguments whose values will be passed to the parameters. And then on line number 7, I have used the return statement just to get the output returned from the square function. Okay, then on line number 10, the main part of this program is started. Here I have just initialized the variable number and square. The square variable will get the value of the function square, which was given on the line number 4 using the return statement. And number is initialized by the printf and scanf on line number 13 and 14. After that, on line number 16, just using the function call of square, I'm just going to write the printf to just display the function output of square. I'm just going to execute it, and it will ask the number whose square you want to find. Like 4, its square is 60. 1, 6 is 36. Okay, the advantage and benefit of using function that you do not have to write the formula. You just write the name of function, and the program automatically executes the value of that function, calculate the value. Assalamualaikum guys, let's move to the practical number 57. The practical 57 is write a function int power int x int y to calculate and return x. Like we have to write a function, not a program. I mean to say function. The function is used before the declaration of the main section, before starting the main section of the program. So here on line number 5, line number 3, the function is defined in power, in base, and in exponent. In base for x, in exponent will be y. And the result int result means the result data type will be integer, and that is equal to starting 1. Here the for loop is executed. Exponent, the value of initial value of exponent, and then exponent must be greater than 0, because if the exponent like power is 0, then it will make the values 1, so it must be greater than 0, and so on. And result is equal to result into base, means whenever first number base is 1, it will be multiplied by 2, then next base will be multiplied by the result, means 1 into 2, 2 into next number 3, 3 into 4, and 4 into 1, and then 4 into 4, and then so all the rest of the numbers exponents will be counted, and then return result. After that, on line number 12, the main section is started. In here I have just declared the variable base, exponent, and result. Res is the variable which will store the value of the function results from the function part. And printf and scanf is used to initialize the value of base and exponent. Result, on line number 21, there is function call. Result is equal to power base into exponent. Power means that exponent will be taken as the power of the base number. So just goes to compilation. It will just ask a base number like 4, or if I am just going with your book output is 2, and enter an exponent, answer is equal to 1. Why it is 1? Because the power is equal to 0. So if when it is multiplied by any number, it makes it 1. Yes. Okay guys, just let's move to the practical program number 58. Write a function to calculate factorial of a number. Just like the previous program, we will use the function definition at before the main part of the function. In fact is the factorial of number, and in number that the number which factorial will be found. And int I for loop is used to increment the value of I, that how many times the loop will be incremented and how many times and how many values the factorial of the numbers will be calculated. For I, int I, and f is written the factorial of the number. Starting factorial is 1 and I is equal to 1. I is less than or is equal to number. I will be incremented into the factorial until it reaches the limit of number, I plus plus. And how factorial will be counted? Factorial is equal to factorial into I. In the last previous videos I have just explained the same program in which you have to find the factorial, but in this program factorial function is used. The function is used to find the factorial. Then on line number 14, the main body part is started, int number and then factorial. Okay, the number no is a number which is entered by the user whose factorial user have to want to find, and factorial will store the result of fact from the function part from the line number 4 to line number 11. Will store the result of f parameter. And from line number 17 and 18 I have just initialized the variable number, and after on line number 20 I have just given the formula. Not given the formula, I have just made the function call that factorial is equal to fact of number, because f the fact parameter is given in the function part on line number 4 to line number 11. And then I've used just to print the factorial of the number function print command just to get displayed the factorials. I'm just going to run it and enter the number to calculate its factorial. Like if there is some mistake, I'm just going to correct it. What is saying that mistake is so guys, here is the output of program number practical program number 58. As there is some problem with my compiler, so I've just shown you the output from the book, that if I enter 10, the factorial of first 10 number will be calculated, like 10 number 1 into 2, the next factorial is 2, and 2 into 3 6 into so on, and then so on it will be calculated till the number becomes 10. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now guys, let's move to the practical number 59. Write a function which takes values for 3 angles of a triangle and prints whether the given values makes a valid triangle or not. A valid triangle is the one where the sum of 3 angles is equal to 180. We have done many other programs in which we have find the right angle triangle, but in this program we have to write the function to calculate to find whether it is a right angle triangle. So for that purpose I have just started the program. On line number 4 the function is written bold check validity. This function is used to check whether this angle is press triangle is a right angle triangle or not. And for right angle triangle is one where the sum of all the 3 angles of triangles have the measurement of 180. Means if we add the measurement of angle 1 2 and 3, it's become 180. Means neither of that angle must be equal to 0. All the measurement must be greater than 0. So here just on line number 8 to line number 10 I've just used the loop. If a plus b less than or is equal to c, means a and b first and second angle measurement addition is less than or is equal to c, and if a plus c is less than or is equal to b, and if b plus c is less than or is equal to a. You can see here the AND operator symbol is given, that if any one of the condition is true, then return false, else return true. Else return false means that if any of this condition is true, then it means that it is not a right angle triangle, and else if any one is not true, all are false, then return true. And then going to the main, here I have just declared the variables a, b, c. On line number 18 and 19 printf and scanf is used to initialize the value of 3 angles, and then again there is the function call check validity a, b, c. Printf if check validity, if the function is correct, then it will print valid triangle, else otherwise it will print the invalid triangle. Now just let's move to this practical, is compilation. Okay, here's the output of this function. Enter 3 sides of a triangle 7 10 and 5. Like you can see 7, 10 and 5, its addition is not equal to 180. It's valid triangle. Here I've said that it's just show you the opposite. Like if any of the angle is true, then it will return false, that it is not a right triangle. Otherwise, if this condition gets false, then it will result shows that it is a right triangle. So oppositely it is showing the results. Okay, let's just move to the practical number 60. Write a function which takes the amount and interest percentage and return the interest amount. Like we have to write the function which will calculate the amount, which will calculate the interest rate. For calculating the interest rate, we need two variables: the interest amount and interest percentage. So what function is used? As interest. And what are the parameters? Principal and interest rate. And in return, with return statement on line number 5, where we are defining the function, I have used the formula to calculate the interest rate: principal divided by multiplied by rate by 100. Principal means principal amount, the actual amount, multiplied by percentage rate, interest rate, and it will be divided by 100. Then your interest will be calculated. Now I'm started the main function, means part. Int principal amount, interest rate, and then interest. Okay, let's move to the practical number 61. Write a function which takes a number as input and displays its digits with the spaces in between. Like you have to enter a number and then you have to print the spaces. You have to in this function, in this program, a function will be used which displays the number layout. Print recursively function mean which will in print recursively user will just display the pattern of the number just to get displayed on the screen. Then on line number 5, I have used the if statement just to increment the number, that how numbers will be incremented, how the order of the numbers will be incremented, and printf. And then again the if statement is used just to initialize the number. If number is greater than 10, yes, then print recursively. Like if the user enter the number greater than 10 value, any value, like if enter 123, this is also greater than 10, then how it will be printed according to the printf recursively function. And what will be printed? The number which user will enter. And then printf percentage d number percentage d means it must be greater than 10. Then it will just follow the order which the user has given. Then the main function is started on line number 17. Int number is initialized and declared and initialized by the printf and scanf. And then on line number 23 there is a function call of print recursively number. I'm just going to run this program. You can see 264028 like this, 328. Okay, this is the last program of your practical notebook. This is practical number 62. Write a function to print the table of a number. Write a function. Earlier we have written some program in which we haven't used the function, we have simply written the formula to calculate the table. So in this we have used the function of name table int number, and here this is the description of the function. Int count is used to initialize the values of the table. For count is equal to 1, then how many times our table will be repeated? Started will be 1 and it will be less than or is equal until the root will be repeated until it becomes less than or is equal to 10. And then count plus like 1 and then 2 and 3, and the number will be multiplied by the count. Like say I have written on the line number 7 that the number, if number is 2, that it will be multiplied by 1. Then it will be incremented by count variable. It becomes 2 multiplied by 2. Then it becomes 3 multiplied by 3, and so on. And then the main part is started. Int main line number 12, and then on line number 14 the name variable is declared, and printf is scanf is used to initialize this variable. Again on line number 17 the printf is used to display the multiplication table, and there is a function call on line number 18. It will store the result from the function table. Enter a positive number, like say if I'm entering according to your book 10, then it will print the number like 10 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 2. It is not printed on the separate line because the escape sequence is not properly used. Like say now I'm again entering. Yes, it is displayed by the new line. I have not used escape sequence with the counter variable in for loop. So this is simply this was a simply last program in which in last 10 we have used the functions. So all the units syllabus is covered from first 20 to 30 from are covered from the unit 1, 2 and 3. Then 30 to 40 and 50, these are included from the unit number 3 and 4. And then last 10 programs, program number 50 to 62, last 12 programs are included from the unit number 5. So all the syllabus is covered in this practical syllabus notebook. So thanks for watching. Just keep subscribing my YouTube channel.